Hello, everybody. We have finally gotten to our last, certainly not least, the last guest for the night of the entire day of this amazing activation. Her name is Sloan Tate. She is somebody that I met a couple years ago. She is a medium, which I find fascinating. She is amazing. She is incredible. She is pure magic, this woman. I mean, wait until you meet her. This is going to be in English for all my English speakers out there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a treat. She is a very different from what we're used to. A medium, people. Guys, a medium. And today, where the veils of separation have thinned and have dissolved, what better way to finish our full day of activation and master classes that we've had today from such amazing crowd with our very own medium. Wow. And she's beautiful. She's amazing. She's full of light. And you know what's amazing about her is that every time she channels, her eyes turn very blue. I remember that. I'm never gonna forget that about her, because when we did the channeling, when she did my channeling or my session with her, it was pretty powerful. It was intense, and I learned a lot. And I loved the way that her eyes turned bright blue. So it was amazing. So I'm really honored to have her here tonight. She's also on BGenerationLove.com, where she's also offering her classes and how to access your spiritual gifts. And I cannot wait for her to join us so you can meet her. Let's see if she's around. Let's see. Sloan. I am going to, there we go. There we go. And she's gonna be in a sec. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Hi!
Hello!
Oh my god, I'm so excited. This is the grand finale.
Yeah, that you're like the perfect way to come. Look at that.
We got Jake here. He's like,
I love her.
He just jumped into my lap. He's like, I need to be on here.
Of course he does. Of course. Oh my god, it's been an amazing day. And what a beautiful way to close the sessions of all these master classes that we've had today with you. Listen, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday about you. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna have this medium, and she's gonna come. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, she's Harry Potter. Like, so, like, you don't understand. Like, she's Harry Potter. Like, she went to the school in London that is like really. O sea, I loved. And one of the things that I was telling everybody about was that, you know, I did a session with you a couple years ago, or I think a year ago or a couple of years ago. And I specifically remember that when you started channeling, your eyes turned bright blue. And I'm never going to forget that, because I loved it. I was like, I love this. The energy that I felt and everything that's been going on lately, especially in this portal, this activation portal, with all the veil, like I was saying, the veils of reality have thinned down into where we can actually access these spiritual gifts, these extrasensorial gifts that we all have. And what better way to have such a beautiful, amazing, young, like modern and hip medium to show us and tell us about, you know, such an amazing gift that you have. So welcome, Sloan.
Thank you. I love it. Anyone can just now introduce me as Harry Potter. Like, I'll just love that.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, but I'm
I love it.
I spoke about you yesterday. I was like, you don't understand. This girl is Harry Potter. Like, she's Harry Potter and grown up.
Amazing. Well, I'm so happy to be here, and like, just also thank you for putting this out here and just creating so much content for people and being able to bring 11 amazing light healers together. I've been watching all day. Like, you must be exhausted.
In Spanish?
Or just channeling. You know, I love watching you. Even if it's in Spanish, I'm like, I live in Miami. I speak Spanglish. Like, I can understand a little. It's vibes. Like, I'm a medium. I don't know. Sometimes, like, I even take, like, Sarah from Beloved, and I'm like, I'll take her, like, courses. She's like, you can understand. I'm like, I don't know. I just do it.
I love it.
You get the same effect. Anyways, so that's just like a part of living in Miami. I don't know where you guys are from, but in Miami,
Miami,
very multicultural.
Yes, it's a melting pot. Everything's in there.
But yeah, I'm really excited to be here because I'm really, really a big advocate for mediumship. And I think that we're all mediums. And the more that we recognize that, the more that we are able to actually like alleviate mental illness in this world. And I really think that that is my purpose here on earth, is to be this like beautiful, bright, like Daisy kind of energy, not me taking it seriously, you know. But, I mean, it's fun. It's
so
fun.
Much fun.
I don't feel like it's meant to be taken seriously. I really think that the more that we recognize that we are vessels of light and powerful energy, then we are able to really step into our power and to accomplish the things that we want in this lifetime and really discover peace and joy within ourselves.
That's amazing. I mean, honestly, and what better way to, that's why I said, like, what better way to kind of like, you know, have you, you know, here as one of the, you know, the 11 people that have come today, because everybody has been sharing with us their wisdom in their own unique, very unique way, right? And I think it's you know, it's so amazing that something so different as mediumship, right? That when you think of a medium, I don't know about you guys, but before I used to think of a medium in the old ways of thinking, and I would, you know, an old lady, you know, like a wise woman, like, but old with like the white hair, the gray hair, like, you know, very medicine woman sitting down, just kind of channeling, right? And then all of a sudden comes this breath of fresh air, Sloan. She's so perky and happy and so young and beautiful and all this. And you're like, this is amazing. And then all of a sudden, just by watching you, I feel like we can also, because today is such an intense and powerful portal. So by you like showing us how to be like those channels of light in our lives and how to harness this positive energy this energy that's available, so we can choose to use it in a positive light, is very important. So this is why I was so excited to have you, because I want you to share with us, you know, all this time. What is mediumship? Let's start the basics. What is it? How did you came about it? I know you've had this gift for forever. And just basically how it's changed your life and how you use it to empower others to do the same.
Beautiful. I'm really curious what people are watching, what you guys think of mediumship. Like, I would love to know your definition of mediumship. Or if you've ever been to a medium, comment. I want to hear just like, I'd love, and we'll share it and we'll kind of go over it as we go, and as I share. But, so mediumship is when you connect in traditional sense, like where I studied when we were talking about the Harry Potter school, it was called, it's called Arthur Findlay College. And although I've studied with other mediumship programs before, that was the more traditional route that I took. And that's actually, Arthur Findlay College is based in the Spiritual National Union. So, this is like the basis of spiritualists. And spiritualist is not the same as spirituality. Spiritualist is an actual like sect of like it comes off of a church. It comes from the church. Mm-hmm. But Arthur Findlay was this amazing, he was not a medium himself. He was actually a researcher, and he's written some really fabulous books on sitting in on seances and sitting on, and actually he would sit with this medium named John Sloan, who has the same name.
Oh, no way.
I had chills when I saw that. Yeah. And he was a very wealthy man. His wife Gertrude was a nurse in the World War II, and she has total healing powers. When you go to Arthur Findlay, you can totally channel and feel their energy and their presence there. And they purchased this like summer home in the lowlands and right outside of London. And it's absolutely stunning, beautiful, tons of horses. It has a little town inside. And then some of the best mediums in the entire world are tutors there, and then also have definitely walked the hallways of that space. And it's called Stansted, England. and they're very strict. It's a very, very different form of mediumship than what we experience here in the United States. But a traditional spiritualist viewpoint, mediumship is connecting with spirits. So spirits would be anything that has lived here on earth that has crossed over that you can gain evidence for. So when we're working with mediumship, we're looking for evidence-based things that you can actually prove that you're connecting with someone. Does that make sense?
Yes, makes perfect sense. So for example, you're doing a mediumship or you're channeling something and you ask for, like, you know, I don't know, turn off the light if you're here or something. Is that evidence?
Yeah, that would, I mean, the more the evidence would be like, I'm feeling your grandfather and I can feel that, like, you come from, like, I don't know, like, did he serve in this World War or whatever? Okay. Like, knowing these kind of details or knowing his name. Okay. I'm hearing a herald right now. Like, right. And being able to articulate and to be able to match these things with actual things. But when you're working in mediumship, you're working with a sense of, like, anyone that comes to me, like, I'm first going to build a character. I'm like building that, what's called holding the power in mediumship. So you're holding that power, you're leaning into the energy that's there. And once you're doing that, I start building character. Okay, I have a man here. He didn't die in his 50s, but I'm feeling that in his 50s, he was like, that was a significant time for him. I'm seeing him walk with a cane down the street, right? Like, I'm seeing him live in an environment, like a small community. And then you build it from there. And then being able to give, like, do you own his socks? Like, he's saying that, like, you held onto his socks, right? So, like, being able to, like, get those kind of details. And so evidence would be more like, how did that person die? Okay. Or, like, what items did they hand over to you? Or their name. I mean, oh my God, in England, I saw crazy things. I saw addresses, like phone numbers being given. So
incredible. This is incredible.
It's real. It's real.
Amazing.
It's real. I mean, I've literally sat in table tippings where the table's dancing across the room with no one touching it. Like, I've seen the craziest things. And for me, it's so passionate for me because, you know, like, my brother took his own life thinking he was absolutely crazy. And and I feel that there are so many people that walk hearing voices, having visions, like feeling people's emotions and not knowing, like feeling like my emotions are out of control. I don't know what's wrong with me, but not recognizing that they could be connecting with the spirit. They can be connecting with the energy in the space, or they can be connecting with the physical person that's there with them, and it not being their energy. Because, like, for me personally, I'm a sponge and I feel everything. But when I put it into work in mediumship, I feel so empowered. And I think the more that I share that, the more it's accessible. But mediumship is definitely that. And also mediumship is working from your crown chakra. So this is more moving up here, versus psychic is more moving from your third eye. Third eye is like moving from this plane. So there's a difference between psychic. Psychic's like card reading. It's remote viewing. It's
like projecting into the future.
Right, exactly. Or the past.
Or the past.
Yeah, exactly. So all of those things are going to be psychic. And so that's,
I'm writing all this stuff down.
Does that make sense?
I'm taking notes. Excuse me.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Good.
So I mean, okay, because one of the main topics that we've been talking about throughout the entire activation for today has been, you know, raising your level of awareness, changing consciousness from a fear-based to love-based, you know. And this is why I love this topic, is because we are introducing a topic that we have concepts about and perceptions about and judgments about in a bright new way, by having you discuss this, by having you just kind of talking about our extrasensory experiences that we as people, as divine beings, as spiritual beings living in a very human body, a very human experience, there's other layers of experiences that we're already receiving information from all the time, that not only through our five senses, but this is why it's called the sixth sense, because it opens up your perception about who you are and what you can really, the information that you can receive from your senses and your perceptions, and how you can use that, like you said, which I love that. How you use this, the fact that you can feel everything, and being able to harness that and have felt very powerful with it, versus being disempowered or controlled by the flood of emotions. For example, especially today, that today's been a very powerful day. I've gotten a lot of feedback from people that, for example, Sloan, that have told me like, well, this has been amazing, but it's been hard, it's been challenging, because because it is a master number. There's a portal that's open that is literally allowing us to rise up into our own mastery. And if we resist, it becomes really difficult. And so by you opening up the space and you talking about this stuff, it's like, and a lot of people are being flooded with all these emotions, right? Because everything that you haven't even touched or dealt with in the past is going to come up. It's just there waiting to, come up. And somebody like you, for example, that has used these floods of emotions that you felt all your life, and have used a tool or a mechanism, if you will, as mediumship, because that's your talent, in order to harness it and empower yourself. And not only that, but be comfortable with it, and help others be comfortable with it as well. Use the spiritual world, which is also, today is an 8th day, which is such a mediumship day. Why? Because we take the wisdom of the spiritual world, we transform it, and we apply it in the material physical plane. And so that's basically, from what I got from what you say, it's pure mediumship. I'm taking information from the spirit world that can help you in this world, for you to evolve, for you to grow, for you to heal, for whatever it is that you need to do. So what are the what is that? So my question for you is, especially for people that are getting all these floods of emotions, especially today, when I go to somebody like you, for example, right? And I say, listen, I've been going through this in my life. When I go to you, what am I expecting? What can I expect? For example, I know you connect to people who have passed on, but with what purpose? What is the main purpose people, feel that they can get from the spiritual world through you?
Well, I think this all ties together, because that's my specialty. I'm not a Long Island medium that people come to when someone's passed. I am, but I specifically have people that come to me that have disability, that are being called to. So that's really the big difference for me, is that people come to me because they are mediums. They're ready to activate this. And I think, I look at the numbers, they're activation codes. They're coming to you to activate something within inside of you. And first and foremost, I just think we've got to rise out of the empath. The world is always me. The world is happening to me. No, you're powerful. We need right now empaths to be in their power. Come out of your shell. Let down the weight of the world, and let's get to work, because the world is serving us. It's everything that happens in life is serving for you. And the more you think like that, the more empowered you'll become, even with your gifts. And it's getting out of this box of life is now. Life is now. And we've been taught, religion tells us that once you die, you go to these pearly gates, and that's to postpone life. That's a slavery mentality, to postpone life. That
wow.
No, you don't postpone heaven. Heaven is here. It's right here. Your loved ones don't go past and live in some deserted cloud up in the sky. That sounds like hell.
Yes.
The heaven is being with your loved ones. It's being here. It's being now. All your lifetimes are playing out right now, and you have access to all that information. So when you understand that, you can actually be empowered by it. But I think that is the biggest message that most of my clients come to. I run the spiritual development circle, where we sit every single Thursday, and we were doing it for oh my God, almost a year now. And it's a working circle. It's just pure working, and we just practice, because I think the more that you experience your powers, the more you experience the power that's within life, right? And it comes through numbers. Like numbers is a big part of this.
Yes, absolutely.
100%. Like coding, this numbers is the first way that most of my clients come to me and even realize that they're a medium. It's all starts with 1111, right?
Yes.
Amazing.
Right? That's amazing. I didn't know that. I didn't know that most of your clients come, oh, I'm seeing 1111. You know.
Oh yeah, that's the.
Well, it makes sense though, right?
That's the first start.
It's the awakening the truth in you.
It's the portal.
Yeah, it is. It's the awakening. It's the remembrance of who you are and what you're here for. Yeah. And so it makes kind of sense that they start seeing 1111. I'm like, Sloan, what am I? A medium. Show me how to do this. You know what I mean? Because it's activating that memory, memory of who you are and what you're here for. And so I think, honestly, this route that you're showing people what, like, you know, because I was noticing that it was kind of like a dying modality a little bit, especially with the young crowd, right?
Yes. Right? I'm literally like the young, when I went to I didn't just study Arthur Finley College, but I've done a lot of trainings. I've also studied under John Holland. My mom's also a medium, so I've done a ton of stuff. And I mean, like, I'm the youngest one in the room. Everyone has gray hair. Like, because I feel like you don't really understand this. And like, if you're watching this, if you agree with this, like you don't really have a need to connect with a lost loved one until you really have a loss. Like, until it's bone crushing, till it rips the rug right from underneath you. And if you're watching and you've actually experienced a close loss, like, you know what I'm talking about. It's like all of a sudden that idea that heaven happens after I pass away, like, doesn't make sense anymore, because that craving for your loved one, like, cannot be quenched. Like that mourning of like, it never goes away. It never goes away, but recognizing that they are here with us. They just speak through the numbers. They speak through animal messages, right? Like, they speak through signs and messages and energy without words.
But that's the thing. We have to be present and open to noticing these things without the typical language, right? Like, without the words. I sometimes...
that's the hardest part.
That's the hardest part, because we're so used to using words to communicate, right?
Yeah.
But there are so many other ways to communicate.
And especially when someone passes away and you're angry about it, right? You're emotional. You're like, or you're desperately seeking for them. Like, you'll cut, that's your ego, and your ego will cut it, right?
We'll cut it right down. Yes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You have to be present, and you've got to be embodied. You've got to be in your body to experience spirituality, or else it's like, it just doesn't make sense. It won't add up if you're not embodied, if that makes sense. So
it makes sense. So what are the different, for example, in your spiritual circle, spiritual development circles, like what is a typical exercise, for example, that you would give somebody that would attend these circles? Because I'm curious. I'm like, I want to go.
So many different things. We have so many different. So spirit, like, guides everything. Like, it's very guided. I don't really have a hand in it, but we'll do things like where we'll draw a portrait of someone that's passed away. We've written letters, like, from a past, channeled a letter from a past loved one. We've done we do lightning rounds where we have people in a group setting, like, actually go through and name names or pick up information from other people. It's really profound, because most people that come into this circle have either never had any experiences and leave like full on mediums. I've had several clients from these circles that actually start their own business and are like absolutely thriving. I have clients that have booked out for months that just started with the spiritual development circle and just kept going.
Amazing.
And awakened inside themselves. But I think, I mean, and then it's also like people that have joined the circle and they like literally just joined for 1 month because there was some kind of information that their spirit needed. Like we had this really profound experience. I'll tell you a story. This woman came in and her husband, not her husband, sorry, her dad had committed suicide. Wow. And she literally had lived her whole life thinking that her dad like would never be able to be communicated with because he committed suicide. And suicide, like you know, the culture that she grew up in told her that like he just like goes to like hell
to the void or something.
Yeah, that she would never even be able to go to a medium and contact him. So she joins the circle, and the first person that's this girl, and she's one of my favorite people, but she's like me. She's like, so I have like this dad. I mean, that's the thing. Spirit is so humorous. It's like this really serious, like, session, like reading coming through. This girl that's like blonde hair, and she's like, so he's like French, and he like smokes cigarettes. I mean, her partner, because we do one-on-one as well as a group setting, and this was a one-on-one, and like, I'm sitting there looking at her, and she's like, and the girl's like, I don't think I have anything, and like beating herself up about it, and she's like, then looking at the girl that's receiving the message, and she's literally just bawling tears.
Oh,
and she's
wow.
like, oh my God, don't cry. Like,
oh my God, that's amazing though, right? Wow.
It's profound. It's like, wow, we're really onto something here. And she's just crying. And we didn't know the story, but the girl's still like, I think he like killed himself. And then the girl's like, she's like, oh my God. Like, and she's like, you have no idea. Like, this is why I came to this circle. And I thought that I would never hear from him, but that is my father. And like, you have given me so much peace. And she's like, you don't understand what this means. Like, she's lived her whole life believing this. And then now her dad is just coming back to say that he loves her. And
oh my God.
It's literally like that was like 2 minutes of healing that like healed probably like 30 years. She was
30 years of suffering, of
right,
course.
30 years of suffering. So it's like, this work is so profound, and it's really just learning how to be a vessel and just to open up for spirit, to like the trans healing, to just go move through you and really to surrender to someone else. So that's,
but
really
yeah, I mean, what are, for example, what are some sort of, like, do you have like some exercises or something that you can like, something that we can do so that we can start, you know, little by little accessing these spiritual gifts? Because there's people that are asking, for example, that we can answer later. How do they join the circle? And it's Gordita says, so when you feel like you have an ability, what you can do to understand and work with that. So when that's the main reason why I asked, like, you know, give us a little exercise that we can.
So traditionally, like, this is kind of how mediums work. They typically have medium circles, especially in like the more traditional aspect in like London and those kind of things. And you can join my medium circle by just messaging me. It's every month. It's closed right now, but it will open up the last week of November. So, and it's like, you really can't get in until you like message me or have some kind of connect with me. And then for in regards to like, just, you know that you have this ability, and here's some signs that you know you have this ability. Okay, so like anxiety, major sign that you're blocking out something. A lot of times when we have these gifts, we're like scared to express them, just like subconsciously, because society's told us it's so wrong. So we will naturally just like shove them down with like binge eating, alcohol, numbing ourselves, cigarette smoking is like a huge sign too. Like, cigarette tobacco is a medicine that's really made to ground us. So if you're having really profound spiritual experiences, you may be like craving cigarettes. Depression is a big one. Like, there's a lot of signs that spirits are wanting to be moving through you. And then like, obviously, like seeing numbers like 1111. I mean, any number.
That's my way.
Any number. Yeah. That's like, just,
that's my thing.
Yeah, of course. You're like,
it's like I
window open. Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, just like being able to read the signs that desire to it, animals, you know, just strange things happening. Like, those all can be signs that spirit are trying to communicate with you. And then, so when you're starting to feel these things, the best thing to do, especially if you're like struggling with like depression or anxiety, is just express it. The best thing you can do is get in your body. Like, number one, get in your body. Like, and that can happen through like taking a walk in nature. And when you're getting your body, you're just simply like getting out of your head. Your head is your ego. So when we think about like dark spirits or energies, like those all live in your head. So in order for you to get away from that and really be protected, it's to be in the present moment. In order to be in the present moment, you want to drop into your heart. And so you can do that by taking a walk in nature. You can practice meditation with music, or just like you know, do something that makes you feel good. I think essential oils are a really great way to just drop in and like anchor in.
I haven't, but
yeah, amazing.
Yeah, this has sustained me all day, honey.
Yeah, I know. It's like I want to know all your secrets over there because you just keep going.
Look at mine. Like, I have my little balm here, right here. Look. This is my balm right here. Okay.
Yeah, that's the secret. Like, that's totally. The secret. A scent can totally anchor you and just like drop you right into where you need to be. There are some. I wrote a book. My book comes out in April.
It's amazing! Congratulations!
Thank you. I'm so excited.
I want to buy it.
I'm so excited.
Oh my god! I can't wait to read that.
I know. And then there's a book called Spirited by Rebecca Rosen. That's a really great book to just kind of like really understand. I suggest getting the Audible and just like downloading the information from her.
Okay.
And so once you're in your body, I would practice like actually like just speaking to spirit. Just like there's a difference. Praying is like asking for something, but then like meditation is listening. So like balancing the two with those. And then also free writing in your journal is a really great way to like literally surrender this pen to spirit and to just allow things to come out. I think those are some really great
yeah, just for the people who don't know what free writing is, what can you explain a little bit about what?
So for free writing mediumship, you're going to do it a little bit different. So you would want to like actually like give your pen over to spirit. So like I would say something like an invocation, like I call on the divine masters or spirits, loved ones, I call upon you now. Like, I don't know, you don't have to be dramatic.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, you're like, okay, spirits, masters, and guides, I ask that you take this pen from my hand and connect me with spirit to let any words that want to come through at this moment in time to flow through me now. I surrender myself, and I literally like, I think envisioning is a really good tool. I mean, everyone connects differently. No one channels the same. So you've got to like really tone in with what works with you. There's something called the clairs. And so there's different ways, there's senses, there's different senses. And I have a offering on my website, sloantate.com. It's called With Human Design. I use human design to able to help you decipher like where your gifts are.
Wow.
You can actually see like what chakras are defined and undefined. So you're going to be able to like actually like there's a way to like figure that out. It's amazing. So and like continue your chart and everything. It's amazing.
Wow, I love that. I love human design. I've seen it. And so
yeah, I love
you can allow that with that's so powerful. That's so good.
Out great. Like I like matched it with mediumship and it's like it's like done wonders for my clients.
I can imagine. That's amazing.
So there is different ways. Sometimes people are visual. So if you're visual, you may experience things like a deja vu, or like a daydream. So that's maybe how like you may be free writing with spirit, but you may be actually like envisioning it. And so maybe you want to draw more.
Or
right?
draw
like,
something. Okay.
Yeah, drawing. Like just let the pen just move. Like it's like a Ouija board. Just let it go. Like
oh my god, I remember those.
You know, sometimes people hear, so that you may actually start hearing music. Like I don't know. I have clients that hear music, and all of a sudden, like I have one client who I work with. She's one of my one-on-one clients, and we're working with her channeling, and her uncle is one of his guides, and he came in and he was like, go grease lightning, and because he's like triggering that he loved cars, and she's like, and she knows that at that time that the music video for that is all based in what a car shop, right?
Yeah.
So like that's her signal. Cool. So you may hear music and you may want to write that down. Oh, there she is.
Oh, that's her. Oh,
hey. So there's all different kinds of ways that you can really communicate with spirit. And then there's people that feel it in their body. So they may like actually feel like, I have another client. Well, okay, my mom's a medium and she feels everything in her body. Like we went to stay at the Standard and she like got sick. Like she's like, I can't go to dinner because like you're gonna feel it in your body. So those are more like medical mediums, like those are the people that are gonna like really be able to detect if there's some kind of like sickness in their body, right? Like, oh, I can feel something in your liver. Like that's a kind of person. And then there's also someone that can feel emotion. So that may be what you're more
is that an empath? Down. Is that an empath? When you feel emotions, what is it?
Well, I mean, all of this is empath.
Oh, okay. That's all right. That's something that I didn't know.
Yeah. That's like more I think it's
clairsentient.
Yeah, clairsentient. Well, there's a difference between clairsentient and there's clairemotion, because clairsentient is more like when you actually feel it. So that's more what I was talking about earlier, when you're feeling in your body. And the other thing is like I have a friend who is clairsentient and I'm visual. So when we're like channeling together, she's like, I'll like watch her and I'm like, oh my God, you're stroking your, he has a beard, he has a beard. Like she'll just like, and that's something about clairsentient. Cool. You'll like kind of do things like that.
That's very cool.
Oh, there she is.
There you go. You see, you're calling them in. Come.
They're like raising their hand as they go. They're like, hi. Outing themselves.
Amazing. Oh my God, that is me.
Lauren, you know you do that.
So I have a question, Sloan, because now that you've been talking about this for a little bit, and then I just remembered this. I went to a medium circle once. It was with a friend in common, Gabby. You remember Gabby? Mm-hmm. I went with her. It was with older people. Okay, I have no idea how I got to the house, to be quite frank.
Was that in Miami?
It was in. It was a little bit further north, but yeah, in Miami. In Miami.
Okay. I love it. I love these adventures with you and Gabby.
Mira, let me tell you, that was like one of these things that you were like, this person, we connected on Facebook, and this guy is a medium, and he was talking about certain things that were going on in his life, and he was doing a medium circle, and I don't know what got into me, but I was like, I want to go, I want to see it, and whatever. And then he's like, well, let me see if I can ask the spirit. I'm like, dude, just let me in. I'm like, I want to go. I want to see what that is. And then the guy invited me, and Gabby was like, you're not going alone. I'm going with you. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're not going. What's wrong with you? No, I'm going with you. And then we went, and this is the question that I was going to generate. It's just so funny. It's such a funny story. We went to this house, you know, and there was the man that was, you know, he's an older man. And then there were these two ladies, and I think they were from the church of the spiritual church, and they were talking about, you know, the spirituality, not spirituality, but this, you know, all this stuff. And I'm like, and I'm witnessing all this, and then all of a sudden, you know, this man starts channeling something, and well, we get into a circle, right? We get into a circle, and he, you know, I start meditating because it's all I know what to do, right? And I'm meditating and all this. And then all of a sudden, I start feeling something, and I open my eyes, and the guy, for me, just completely transformed. The guy was someone else, but not a nice person. I'm like, oh wow. I remember looking at Gabby, and I'm like, do you see this, or am I crazy? Like, are you watching this? And that's, I guess that's my question. You know, honestly, after that, it's not that I don't do it, but I'm a little more responsible now because.
So, which part of it? The guy shape-shifting, or what made you feel uncomfortable about it?
Well, it made me feel uncomfortable that I'm like, what the heck am I doing here, first of all? And second of all,
is this pre-COVID, by the way?
You know, what is this? Why do I need to see this? Like, I get it. Like, I feel all this stuff. I don't need to see it. Like, this is too much for me. But yeah, you know, for whatever reason, I had to be there, right? And then it made me uncomfortable that, first of all, I did not understand what I was doing there. Second of all, the guy shape-shifting, and the energy that I felt from this entity that all of a sudden I saw. The guy was pretending to be like a good entity, like this light being, and I felt nothing but light. You know, I felt like all this darkness and this density, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? That's why I said, like, what am I doing here? What is this? And then after that, it was like, well, I need to be more responsible with my own energy, really, and where I go, you see? And that's what I wanted to ask you, because I think a lot of us have these kind of experiences out of the blue without knowing. and we get scared because we don't know what the heck is that. Is that possible that when you're channeling, you felt like these dense kind of other light or not as light beings that come into your awareness, or how does that work?
Well, I mean, I don't even allow a spirit in my house. Like,
okay.
No, like I don't. Like, I mean, if a spirit's coming in my house, I mean, no, like just no. I mean, it happens rarely if someone's not listening to their guides. Like, I'll have like a client that comes, like, I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, no. But I think that's the biggest thing for me is, and always with my clients too, it's like boundaries. Like, spirits are like
it's the same as humans.
Boundaries. Same as humans. You've got to say, you've got to declare it. If you're going to allow energy to move all over you, like, it's going to, like, it'll come to you all the time. But like, we're not meant to do that. We're meant to be human here. So, you know, I think that there's a difference between being open versus connected. Being connected is like, you can feel the synchronicities, you can feel the numbers, right? That's where we're going to live, right? But being open is like actually like receiving messages from people. And if we walk around open all the time, our gift is not going to be powerful because we've got to honor it. We've got to hone in on it. And you've got to like set time for it to come out.
I love that.
But
it's like you master it. You become a master.
And a big lesson for everyone here, especially if you're new in the spiritual world, is like, honey, the darkest of the dark hides in the brightest light. And I just want to say this because people in this industry have the biggest egos that I've ever worked in. And I worked in like the art industry in New York City. And there are snakes looking and like out here. Like, I mean, you've really got to trust yourself and be careful around giving your power away. Okay. That's what you're about. That's what I'm about. And I want everyone to know that. Like, the most important thing for you to know is that your intuition is everything. So if something's off about someone, but they're telling you, oh no, like the Holy Spirit says this about you, like, you go with your feeling, you go with your gut every single time. That is so important because, you know, we flow. Like, people come and work with me and then they don't. And I trust that. I honor that. And sometimes people are meant to work with one person for their whole life. Like, there's a lot of spiritual teachers that work like that, but you get your own individuality. You have your own experience. And I will say that, like, everyone has access to this channel. So just because they're clear, just because they're psychic, they are on point, they can channel your dead grandmother, like, does not make them holy. They are still human. So, when, especially in the mediumship world, I think that that's something, like, a lot of mediums, and especially within the metaphysical church, which you're talking about, that's not actually spiritualists. They claim they're like similar to spiritualists, but they believe in past lives. Spiritualists don't believe in past lives, which is a thing.
It's a thing.
So, like, I don't know. I'll just like do my own thing. But you know, the metaphysical church, like, sometimes people are like hiding from their fears. They're hiding from their pains and like projecting it out on other people. And so I think, especially if you're going through a hard time, it's really important for you to honor your own beliefs, honor your own power, because that's really all you have in this life.
I love that. I'm writing this stuff down because this is one of the things that I'm actually, all this knowledge and wisdom from all of you guys that are that you've been sharing throughout the day. I mean, this is invaluable. I mean, I think especially now in this activation, that's why I call it active. It is an activation. It's a remembering of this, sharing these spirits. It's opening up the space to hone in on this energy for others to share from an empowered stance, from knowing what their gifts are and sharing them with the world, so people can actually, you know, see this image in themselves and say, wait a minute, oh, I do that, I can do that, I can do the other thing. And then that's when you say, like, honor your own power. I think that is such a beautiful way to really kind of close up this activation per se throughout the entire, we've been here since 11:11 in the morning.
You've been going at it. You've been here.
I've been
everyone. How many of you guys have been following all day? How many of you guys have been loving what she's been doing all day?
Oh,
like,
so
tell
sweet.
her, like, Lourdes,
No,
totally
that's so
deserves this. This is such a gift, like such a freaking gift for you to
the
like
gift
give
is
so
to
much
have
content.
you guys like you here, really. I mean, that's the gift, because honestly, you know, it's I get goosebumps. I love that. I've had goosebumps all day. But that's the thing. O sea, it's having people like you. For example, when I was I totally was inspired by spirit to do this. Really, it was just one of those things. I was laying outside looking at the sun, and all of a sudden, oh my God, what am I doing? Da, da, da. And all of a sudden, I started, you know, texting all the names that came to my head, and they all said yes, yes. At what time? And it flowed like nobody's business. Like nothing, no problems, like nothing. And all of a sudden, you know, it's a blessing, really, truly, to have you guys come into the space and remind us that, first of all, especially you, that, you know, as a medium, we're never alone. We're always connected. We're never alone. We're always, the world, the perception of the world is very limited to what really is, you know, what's out there. And the way that we can access the information or the remembrance of really who we are can be through mediumship. It can be through any which way possible. But the tools are there. The find your own way. You know what I mean? Find your own way. And they're all valid. And they're all super fun. O sea, I have a friend that's a medium. Explain to me how fun is that? I'm sorry. It's just too cool. I'm sorry, but it's true. Like that makes, it makes life awesome. It makes life interesting. And it just, it really helps us accept each other, love each other with compassion in the way that we want to be loved, in the way that we want to be accepted. And it all starts with you. So I really want to, if you have any last words of wisdom that you want to share with us, you know, just because you're the last person here.
Yeah. I have chills. I'm so excited.
I love it.
I just feel that you know, it literally makes me emotional as you speak this, because like, you know, I really think that, especially for all of you that have been here with Lourdes like all day, like that is so empowering and beautiful. Like everyone that's showing up right now, like you guys are showing up for so much more than this live. Like you guys are, we are all on the very tip of something very massive shifting on the entire planet. And I know that there's so many people watching tonight that, you know, it's so fun in games to be like, medium, which it is. Like, and it is amazing. And also, like, I know how much people have struggled that have come before me, you know, indigenous people, people of color, like people from all over the place that have struggled. So, and I feel, or have lost their lives, or have been, you know, for what we're doing right here, even in this time and age. And I think that we are all so gifted. It makes me emotional. We are so blessed to be here and to be speaking openly about this, to not fear for our lives.
Yes.
And I think the more that we tune into this frequency, the more we normalize it. And I think that's what I really want. Like, forget about the election, all this bullshit. Like, this is what matters. This is true love. Like, people from all different kinds of backgrounds right here, right now on this live, and talking about something that could be really taboo in different cultures, and maybe people don't understand it completely, but as long as we just listen to each other, and most importantly, listen to ourselves, stay empowered with who we are, I think that we all can make this world like such a different place, such an empowering place, and like the energy that I feel right now being with all of you guys, you know. And also, you know, 2020 is the era where we realize that we don't have to be standing in the same room to be connected. We're all connected right now. Like, I know the Lord has been feeling everybody all day, and I'm just by the show of comments, like there's so much energy, you know, and we
so
feel
much energy. This is the reason why I've kept going all day. Is this energy? Is this energy? I'm sure when I'm done, I will pass out like nobody's business. But today it's been spiritually led. Forget it. There is no answer buts. my mission was to create the space for you guys to come and just speak your truth. And, you know, you say that, you know, and it makes me emotional, that, you know, that we can really speak these things out loud in a way that is safe and loving and welcoming, and acknowledge each other for it. It's, I think I'm having like a past life kind of moment here, you know, because we have suffered enough by silencing our true selves. We've suffered enough. It's enough. Enough with the suffering. We silence ourselves, we silence our true nature, and we suffer. We create, we believe in the illusion of separation. We believe that we're disconnected from the source. We believe we're disconnected from each other. And we start believing these lies. And then we start focusing our vision outside of ourselves, and that's where we become disempowered. So what you said right now is amazing, because it's like, forget about what's going on outside, forget the election. We already voted, and if you voted, I don't care either. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen. Who cares? It's gonna happen, and then that's that. And then, but we can only focus on what's happening right here, right now, in this space, in this loving, amazing space, and this energy that has been flowing throughout all of us throughout the day, and it had to end in Sloan with reminding us that of that beauty of that message and that powerful message. So I want to thank you so much, Sloan. Thank you, because it's 10 o'clock at night.
Thank you guys. And you guys
can
connect with me here. Yeah. I'm pretty active on Instagram, so you guys can message me if you have any more questions. My website's sloantate.com. You can, I see some people have already booked one-on-one like coaching inquiries while I've been on here, and
I love that.
Some one-on-one medium sessions. You can do that as well.
I would love a medium session at the Sloan. Yeah. I need to connect. I'm gonna go through your website. I need need a little bit of a. I need messages.
Ooh, I have chills.
I love it.
Ooh. I'm like, ooh.
I love that.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and
thank you.
Thank you for letting me be a part of this. So
thank you so much.
Right?
Love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night. Okay.
Well, bye.
Bye.